Previously on Florence.
Well, that's a first for us. We've just been kicked out of the port of Sabang in Banda Aceh, Indonesia. We were in Indonesia when the pandemic struck, and with the closure of borders, our plans of crossing the Indian Ocean have had to go on hold. After being told to leave the province of Aceh in northern Sumatra, we have spent the last weeks drifting, looking for a safe harbour where we can stop to weather this global storm. We were asked to leave the last port we went into, although they did give us some diesel, even though we actually had to have it smuggled out to us after dark by boat with no lights because they weren't supposed to help us, I don't think, but it was the harbour master that was helping us.
Finally, we have a ray of hope, somewhere we may be welcomed and allowed to stay.
We've been allowed to stay at an island, a remote island, uninhabited, by the Indonesian government or the Indonesian region that we're in. This is Isolation Bay.
Just 18 miles south of the equator, on a remote island only accessible by boat. We're waiting out the Indonesian lockdown and global pandemic with 9 other yachts for company. So this is it, our home for the next few months. Welcome to Isolation Bay.
So we're actually on a small island off the west coast of Sumatra. It's pretty remote here, not many people come here apart from adventure-seeking surfers and the occasional yachts.
And this island behind us, where we're allowed to stay, is owned by the local region. And it's between him and the top yacht agent for Indonesia, Raymond Lesmana, that we've actually been allowed to stay here until the crisis is over. So we've got somewhere safe and we can even go ashore on the beach that's here.
We don't actually know how long we're going to be here. Indonesia is in lockdown, so we're not allowed to move around. But they have arranged for food to be delivered here. We can put a weekly grocery shop order in and they'll deliver it by boat because you can't get here any way other than by boat.
This is going to be the longest time that we've ever stayed in one anchorage in the entire time that we've lived on Florence.
So let's go ashore and have a look around the island. The island's not completely uninhabited. There's a whole load of animals that come up and say hello to you as soon as you come ashore.
This is Jack. He's always the first to greet us when we come ashore. He's lovely, such a good-natured dog.
Loves attention, loves people.
Loves cuddles, loves people.
And I'm not giving you enough attention, am I, Jack? It's also a menagerie of cats. This one is very vocal. Always comes up and says it wants attention. The other one's a little quieter, but always comes to say hello to you. And then there's Sunday, the pig.
All of our organic kitchen waste is happily recycled by these pigs. It's one of the reasons they're so happy to see us when we come ashore.
Pineapple. Yeah, good pineapple.
I left him some good juicy bits in there.
You're supposed to eat the juicy bits, not give them to the pig. There you go.
Oh yeah, I like the pineapple. Is that the favourite? Oh, you got broccoli in there too.
They don't like the broccoli. Who's
not eating their broccoli?
These two are going to be good and fat by the time the world gets to the state where we need to eat them.
There's a big variance in the amount of time that the cruisers here think we're going to be here, but some think we're going to be here so long that they've actually planted a bit of a garden here on the island. So I think they've got some tomatoes, some chives, there's a sweet potato, but we're all hoping we're really not going to be here by the time it actually comes up. There's just one house on the island and one guy living in it, Jasmine, who's the local caretaker for the island.
He keeps the place tidy for us.
Yeah, and for the regent. The first yachts to arrive here put together this shelter, which is great for hiding out from the sun or the rain and makes a good place to meet in the evenings. The tiles were made by a village just round the corner.
Palm shingles. Actually what happened was that the cats conned the cruisers into making a shelter just for them.
Should we go for a walk, Jack?
Come on, Jack.
At low tide we can wade through some of the shallows and walk around part of the island.
We don't know how long we're going to be here for. We have to fend for ourselves a little bit. Coconuts are quite a long way up though.
Love a coconut. Can you get us a coconut?
Right, let's give it a go. The locals make this look easy.
Are you okay up there?
Yeah, I'm not stupid enough to climb that massive tree, especially when there is no hospital for hundreds of miles. The little short one's much better.
This is my favourite stage of coconut, the really green ones that are great for drinking, but there's hardly any meat inside them, possibly just a really thin layer of jelly. And they're especially good, I think, when the top is still a little bit white, really young.
Let's give it a go. Okay. Whoa, there we go. So that is absolutely brim full of coconut water. There you go.
Awesome, thanks Matt. Delicious, really good. It's even better when it's been in the fridge, so I'm going to take the rest back and pop them in the fridge.
Do I get extra brownie points if I get brownie points for that, don't I?
Yep, plus extra for getting down without any broken limbs.
Do I get any extra if I climb the big tree?
No. Good?
Fresh out the bush, fresh out the tree. Pretty good.
Yeah.
This side of the island, the beach is all coral because there's a reef just out here, so you need proper shoes around this side, or at least some form of sandals. Feels strange after months of barefoot on board.
Hello.
Both the island and the anchorage are protected from the southwesterly swells by a reef just out here. You get some quite big waves in the Indian Ocean, and they all come crashing into Indonesia here, which is why it is brilliant for surfers. Obviously for sailors, we would like a nice calm anchorage with no swell to roll us out of bed in the night. It's not too bad here as long as the wind keeps coming from the south or from the west. Although we feel very lucky to be here, and it is a beautiful place to be, we have been struggling a little bit emotionally recently. We've been really up and down because, like everybody in the world, this situation is having a massive impact on what we were able to do and our plans. We were supposed to be crossing the Indian Ocean this year, and we can't at the moment. We've got to stay here. And even if things do open up in a few months' time, because we've got to cross the Indian Ocean at the right time of season, to avoid cyclone seasons for safety, if we wait a few months here, we can't just then carry on and go across the Indian Ocean. It actually knocks on. It means we have to wait a whole year.
For us, I guess, what's on the surface hasn't really changed that much. We're still living on board. We're still in a beautiful place. We've still got access to the shore, and we're really lucky for that here. But we're not moving, and for us, that's something which hasn't happened for about 4 years. We've been constantly on the move, and even before that we were planning for this, and our sole purpose for the last over 4 years has been sailing around the world. Everything that we do has been towards that goal.
Yeah, that's our overall driving goal. And the longest we've stopped somewhere, apart from when we hauled Florence out in the boatyard in New Zealand, the longest we've stopped somewhere is 2 weeks in 4 years. And so once we go past 2 weeks in an anchorage, it feels really strange.
Yeah.
We've been constantly moving on, constantly seeing new things, which has been just an amazing, fantastic experience. It's just, we're finding it difficult to adjust to stopping in one place. And the other major thing, we haven't really seen our families for a long time. And we were actually planning to fly home for the first time ever when we got to South Africa. And now with the way things are changing and airlines and everything, you know, that also being put on hold, it seems it's going to be a lot longer now before we see our families again. So yeah, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ups and downs. Sometimes we have a really good day, we get lots of stuff done, we go ashore, we have a good walk with the dog. Other days the weather's bad, we're stuck on board brooding, and yeah, I guess everybody's having that at the moment. But we just wanted to balance what we show here, because it's an amazing place to be at times. We just want to balance it and sort of show some of the reality of living on a boat. And
one of the hardest things is being out of touch here. We're totally out of touch. We've got no internet connection, no phone reception in the anchorage, and that's particularly difficult being away from family at the moment. It's probably quite positive for us mentally to not be constantly bombarded with the news at the moment, which I imagine is what you're getting at home. But yeah, it's hard not being able to talk to family in a time like this.
we can go up to a village about 18 miles north, nearer the equator, where there is a foam mast, but the anchorage there is very poor. Not very good holding for the anchor, so you wouldn't want to be there if a rain squall came through. And we've been asked not to spend time there, to only go there if you really have to and minimise the amount of time you spend there, because the Indonesian government, they've given us this place here to stay, and that's where they want us to stay, where we're away from any of the villages, which is understandable.
But Indonesia is in lockdown at the moment, so we need to respect that.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the positives.
It's been a huge change of mindset for us, and we're both feeling determined that we'll leave here and Florence will leave here in better shape than we were when we arrived, and that's going to be our new goal and our new motivation and our way of still working towards sailing around the world.
Maintenance for us means
Getting fit.
yeah. We have no excuses for not getting fitter here. As well as our small island, we're allowed to use the larger beach opposite, which with its smooth, firm sand makes a great walking and running track.
Change and uncertainty are always hard, and life in Isolation Bay will not always be the easy paradise that the videos portray. Yet, if sailing has taught us anything, it's that we can adapt, we can change our course, and keep sailing with the flow.
Okay, Jack. Don't lick the camera. No. No. Don't lick the camera. Oh, Jack.
It's got a smut on it now, you can lick it.
Next time we ride out a storm, battle the highs and lows of isolation, and put the sails up for the first time in a month.
Thank you to everybody who supports us to make these videos possible, especially to our star patrons, Daniel and Robert,
Frank Del Vecchio,
Pete Bassel,
Eduardo and Tess Wannick,
William Thua,
Paul Stahlberg,
Samuli Yarvanen,
John Bowler,
Robin Reamer,
Kate and Peter Atkins,
Alan Becky.
Thanks guys.